the bar, yeah, we raising the bar.
There is only one life to live. There's only one way to live your life. And the only way to live that life is up to par. Welcome to the debut episode of the Up to Par podcast. I am your host, Chris Moore. Welcome to the show. This is a show for the golf lover. This is if you love golf, if you love culture, if you love stories, if you love how this game has come to be, if you love the people who are part of this game, this is where you need to be. You're in the right place. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you comment, make sure you do all those things that help us grow if you're helping us grow the game, you can help us build this channel. Knock out two birds with one stone. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And now, as they say when you go to the golf tournaments, and now on the tee, golf is evolving. And a big part of that evolution is coming from creators who are bringing new energy and bringing new perspective to the game. Today's guest is Bradford Wilson. You may know him. You've seen him. He is a golf content creator. He's an actor. He's a storyteller. And he has been building a strong voice in this golf space through golf media, through social media, and through community. What started out simply sharing his love for the game has turned into something bigger. He's collaborated with brands like Adidas. He has involvement with the TGL. And he is also helping spotlight a new generation of golfers who look like you and I, young and old, who are changing what this sport looks like every single day. But Bradford's story isn't just about golf. It's about creativity. It's about identity. It's about mental health and finding your lane in a space where authenticity matters more than ever. Today on the tee, we have Bradford Wilson. How you doing today?
That was the most full, well thought out, well researched intro I've ever received. Great, man. Thank you.
Man, no problem. I try to do the intros the right way. I've seen people do those on other podcasts, and I was like, I just need something different. I don't want to just say, welcome to the stage, Bradford Wilson. I need to give you your flowers. I need to give you your credit, your props, all that good stuff.
Man, it's appreciated. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm honored to be on the tee. I'm honored to be up to par. Well, we'll find
Absolutely.
Your listeners will tell you and tell me if I'm up to par after they listen to the show. We'll see.
What makes this episode so special, everyone, is that this is the debut episode. This is the first episode of Up to Par. As you all know, I have more insight, but I wanted to branch out and do something more special, more concentrated, more focused and intentional on the game of golf. It's a game that I love. It's a sport that I love and have come to love. You can call me a COVID golfer. That's when I came into the sport. Bradford, let's open it up. When did you start your golf journey?
Back in New Jersey. I'm from South Jersey. I'm from a small town called Willingboro. It was quite literally built as a town that was overflow for military families in Fort Dix, New Jersey. So it's a joint Army and Air Force base in Pemberton, New Jersey. My grandfather, 20-year Army veteran, he literally handpicked medical devices that are on Army and all over the world. He was the Army's first certified biomedical engineer. So he not only handpicked the medical equipment, he fixed them. He operated on them. He designed some of them. The station was in Fort Dix, which is where my mom was born. I grew up in the home my mom grew up in. There were so many black people in this town. Actually, no, it's in my living room. I have this golf club. That's golf began for me.
And how?
Sorry.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
At age 11, 12, I'm walking around, riding my bike around town and seeing course. Because this town is predominantly black, I'm seeing black people play golf, and became a question. I don't belong in there. It was part of the fabric of town. There were school systems, there were hospitals, there were law offices, there were barbershops, there was a golf course. It was what it was. And I never felt like I didn't about this golf club. Like I said, my mom grew up there, and her older brother was a knucklehead, I'll call him. And funny story, my mom, they were younger, her older brother stole a golf cart at that course and he drove it into a bunker. She hit her head on the golf cart and she has a little scar on her forehead, a golf cart. So this was when she was long before I was even a thought. My mom was in a golf cart accident and has a scar from it. I think golf was going to show up in my life one way
or another. Yeah, for sure. And one thing that you said to me that stuck out was that you grew up in a neighborhood full of black people and you saw people playing golf. So this is uncommon. It's common for you to see black people playing golf. Whereas me, I grew up in the inner city in Atlanta, Georgia, 3 golf courses within 15 minutes of me. And I knew nobody that played golf. So I think it's just hilarious. I think it's interesting that you've seen golf at such a young age. When did you fall in love with golf?
I fell in love with golf the moment I found the center of the club face. I was on a church retreat with the boys. Take the youth on retreats. There was this big camp. I want to say it was like West Hampton, New Jersey, but it's like surrounded by lakes and there's like old school campground. No idea where I was going, why I was out, but I was walking through the campground and a couple of the chaperones were hitting golf balls. And I was like, I think I was 12. I might have been 12. And I see them hit a golf ball and they like stop me. They're like, hey, you're not supposed to be out. Like, where are you going? And I was like, like, what? I was like, I can play golf. They're like, all right, come up and show us.
Yeah, so, sure. Okay.
Yeah. They're like, at this point, all my church community, I was known as a soccer player. That was my passion. That was my identity in my town and at my church. I was a soccer kid. You know, I'm telling them I can hit a golf ball. They're like, come on. They used to call me Pele. Come on, Pele, show us. So I step up. They handed me a pitching wedge and I'm small. These guys are, you know, adults. So I'm swinging with a pitching wedge and I just flushed. I absolutely flushed. It's maybe the cleanest I've ever had to date. Flushed, just flew off the face, disappeared into the woods, and I left and myself astonished, like on the floor.
I can see that being like in like a movie.
Yeah, like I see it like strip. That's how I see it playing in my mind.
Man, so what is the response like when you hit the golf ball? You're amazed at yourself because you hit the golf ball so clean and so flush. What are the camp counselors saying?
Well, one of them was my godfather, so they did not have a big reaction. I was more shocked than they were. I think they were just upset that I was, you know, out past curfew. So they were like, all right, man, go ahead. Like, we're down one golf ball now, but go ahead. Go inside. But not that from that moment, from that shot, I mean, it didn't start this like or anything. It wasn't like, well, like no one ever really mentioned it after. It just became something I held on to as, you know, maybe when I get home, I should go over to the golf course and try and hit some balls. My grandparents in this community for so long, they had this home for so long. One of my grandfather's best friend clubs, my grandfather never played or anything, but there's a set of clubs in the garage. So I just took it and knocked the ball around the backyard and urged one day to hop the fence at the club and just start knocking balls around that I saw. And turned into that I was a soccer player. So I was playing travel soccer. I was training 3-4 nights a week. Once that turned into, hey, I don't think I can go to soccer. And I was at the range. That was kind of when my grandmother took notice and was like, hey, I think golf is tell you something. If this is a path that you do, you know, own it and say it. That way I can support you. My grandmother was extremely, extremely supportive of me and my cousins. And because we lived together, you know, she had the closest proximity and up to even, you know, years past, watching golf tournaments and her telling me, you know, Tiger Woods, he's the greatest golfer that's ever lived, and watching tennis tournaments, and anytime Venus and Serena were playing, it was a thing. It was like, let's sit down and watch this together. I have very fond memories of 97 Masters, Tiger's first win. Like, I have fond memories watching that with this tone to watching these sports together with her. That was like, hey, golf and tennis can be a way for you to find a sport beyond soccer now, but like, you're not going to be able to play soccer till you're 50 years old. You're not going to, you know, network and build relationships on the soccer field, but golf is a way you can do that. Tennis is a way you can do that. And if you want to step into one of those, I got you, whatever you need.
Let me ask you something. You said that she gave you this affirmation of own it, speak to it. What did that do for you as a young Black man? Did that carry you through even just beyond accepting and owning that you love golf and you're going to move forward with it? What did that do for you as a young Black man?
Honestly, I had so many examples and so many community members who would say those kinds of things to me and give me that kind of affirmation at a young age, and away from it, to be honest with you. I knew they were right, which is why I got away from it. So if, you know, or my godfather or a pastor would say, you know, young man, you have gifts and talents, and, you know, use them for the glory of God, you know, whatever they would say, I were right. And that is what terrified me. It wasn't until much later in my life I took those affirmations as a tailwind, or, you know, something that would propel me versus. So it's funny that, you know, I've talked about this on group golf therapy. Anxiety and excitement feel so way for your brain or your body. The difference if you're getting butterflies, if you're getting nervous because you're afraid, or if you're really excited about something. And I know now that in those moments when I was getting, you know, life spoken into me, excitement, and I took it as, you know, a reason to hide. But yeah, I mean, so like as a kid, you're not thinking so much about, you know, this person's speaking life into me. You're like, oh, like I'm in trouble, or, you know, they're gonna tell my mom, and now I'm gonna have to like perform or do something. Like, I don't want to do that.
And when we talk about later, let's kind of fast forward from the age of 12. Let's kind of go past 97 Masters, and let's bring it up to, let's go 2020. That is the year, to me, golf changed. There's so many people who started playing golf in 2020. And a lot of people will also say that that's when content for golf changed forever. And you are part of that change that we see for 2020. First of all, how does it feel to be a part of the change? Like, you're one of the, it's kind of a crazy thing to say in 2026, you're a pioneer, if you will, for golf content space. So how does that make you feel? And then we'll go into, you know, how did you get into creating the content?
It makes great. I mean, I know where I sit in conversation. Something also confirms that for me is that 2020 was you know, version of civil rights movement. And
yeah,
if I look at the civil rights pioneers and leaders that we can now research or read about in book, would ask myself the question, what would I have done in 1965? What would I have done in 1967? What would I have done in 72? You know, I would have wanted to be in the conversation. I would have wanted to use my voice to thing. I wear that proudly. I stand in that proudly.
And you should. Because you are one of those first faces that I saw when I started playing golf. Anytime you start doing something new, it's like you're all in. You're trying to find everything about it. It's just like when people, I would say, when they get saved and when they go to church and they're like introduced to Jesus for the first time, all of a sudden they become like Jesus fanatics. They're reading their Bible every day, highlighting everything. And that's what I had when I was introduced to golf. I was looking up, now that I'm going to the golf course, what can I wear? And then that's how we see an East Side golf. That's how we see a trap golf. But then when you start seeing content like yours, when you talked about deer golf, there's other guys who created content about, making fun of golf, but in a good way. Ken Wavery, I believe is his name.
Ken Wavy, yeah.
With the Ken Wavy,
bro. Like, I'll say 20 is when I really saw black people play in other places. All right, but like the people I was following on the internet were like Instagram was so different back then. You're mostly your friends and like a couple of celebrities would be in like sequential order. So if you weren't following someone, they come up on your timeline. So the first golfer I saw that caused me to go into like a deep dive on who else was out there was Joe Hooks.
Oh, for sure.
He was playing some amateur in Detroit, and he had this, I don't know if it was it was just like a collective of golfers called We Black Golfers. And that just caused my mind to explode. Like you said, like when you first get into golf, you're like, I'm trying to find out everything. Joe Hooks led me to Ken Wavy, led me to Shasta Avery Hart, to Mariah Stackhouse, Dina Parks, to hole that I did know to Bill Dickey, and then to see the tree of success that came from the B camp to a lot of the folks that we know and follow today. Elton, I mean, the list just goes on of like universe was inspirational for me. This is 2018. 2019 was really when I first started posting anything about golf. At that point, a bunch of my acting clips and like random, like I said, Instagram was very different than what we know today, but just like, day-to-day life and like some acting clips, some audition pieces and like wings here and there. And after posting my golf clips, I got an audition to be on a golf talk show. So golf talk show got cast January 2020, obviously down, and summer there were some production still able to kind of get the ground. So we shot that golf talk show in 2020. A couple on that show. Chris Spencer was on that show. The guys were on that show, and just like sitting and rapping with them about comedy and like really my first taste of what content for profit could be like in 2020.
Yeah.
So after experience, we talked about things going on tour. We had talked about golf socially on that show. I kind of took it upon myself to lean into more of like golf history a little bit. I wanted to talk about women. I wanted to talk about black people. I wanted to talk about the APGA. I wanted to talk about, that kind of became my little segment and experience. I left that to say more. I left that speak about my experience, my personal experience. Also like, hey, at this point, I know enough that I can speak to it a little bit, but like, I want to see more. Like, where are the rest of the people? Where are the black people? So Dear Golf became a thing because I wanted to with more people in the golf, black people specifically. I wanted to be the community in a way that I didn't necessarily, I wasn't at that. Like I said, I grew up in a black town, safe to play golf and explore golf in that way. But the internet was a thing. So I wanted that community to grow and I wanted to be a part of it.
Before we go on to golf content and a couple more questions from that, we always hear people saying, I want to start a podcast. I want to start this. I want to write this book. I want to start learning how to play golf. So many people get stuck in, I want to do this. But what was it about golf? What was it that made you say that I can do this? What got you to actually do it?
You mean I guess like starting my own career in the content space?
So essentially, yeah, because so many people talk about they want to do this, that, and the other. What would you say to that person who is stuck in the I want to get to the place where you are of I can do?
Yeah. You already have, you are grasp and in your reach. Just like I was actor before I got on that talk show, trained as an actor before I picked up my camera and YouTube video. So marrying that with of golf and wanting to learn more about golf's history, it was really easy for me to, see the red light and just go because it was something I'd been in dozens of commercials at that point. I'd done theater. I was comfortable, and was probably reasons why I felt confident to doing it, because when I started discovering more folks in the content space, I noticed, okay, yeah, you're talking about golf, you're recording yourself swinging or making jokes, but there was camera presence, and that loop wasn't really closed. I discovered Roger because I was like, oh, okay, this is when you have, personality, you have confidence and knowledge of golf. Like this, when you put all those things together. And I feel like he would say the same, using the tools at your disposal to start. It's not necessarily that you need permission. It's you already have it. You gave yourself the permission. Your life experience brought you to this point. So if you get to start the book or to start the podcast or to start your content, like your life experience you there, don't deviate, really lean into it and go for it.
And even to add to that point, because you've been granted the idea, because you've been given the idea from the universe, from God, whoever your higher power is, that is a sign of validation that I have given you permission to move forward with this gift. That's my message that I just took from that. Man.
Yeah, because I mean,
all right.
Your life experience can take you in a number of different paths. Like literally one choice can change a life. But everything that you've experienced up until this point has been research. It's been ingrained in you. It's part of your DNA at this point. So what experiences you have are going to help you on that journey, whatever that looks like. You just have to decide what that is for you.
There you go. Speaking about health or help, you are an advocate for mental health, for therapy. I want to know what started you on this journey and how has therapy helped you personally and professionally?
Therapy, I was actually speaking to a friend about this today. I experienced something really traumatic when I was about 20 and needed some intervention pretty immediately. Something I know now is when you're in that triggered state, you're in that activated state, it's really difficult to get the help that you need at that point. Your nervous system is still, you're exposed, and you never see like an electrical wire that gets cut off and it's just like jumping around on the ground. Like that's what you're doing. So it's really difficult to grab that wire and settle it down. You have to get to a place where you feel safe in order for the help to actually in. So I say that to say, I was going to therapy, but I wasn't receiving. It wasn't until 2019 I started having panic attacks. I was doing my thing as an actor, trying to do my thing as an actor. You want to move to LA and you want to be an actor, like have a job, have money in your account, please. Don't come out here with no money. Come out here with 10 G's because you're gonna need it. You're gonna need 3 months of rent. Because if you don't book anything and you don't have another job, I'm telling you, it's not the place you want to be. I'm saying that to myself.
Yeah.
So 2019, I'm auditioning much, and I had another job. They let me go. So that after that was okay. Turn all of my attention and energy on acting, and it wasn't happening as I wanted it to. I was a lot, and partner at the time was like, "Yo, you need to go talk to the lady." And therapy was a way for me to be heard, for me to get all of that out of my body, out of my, and be heard and like spit back to me, unpacked and clarified and filtered. And that was a beautiful thing for me. The therapist I had at the didn't look like me, wasn't that rarely thing for me until it did become important to me. 2019, one therapist. 2020, I shifted my focus to I want a black therapist today. Like I need a black therapist. And once I found one, Therapy for Black Girls. This isn't an ad, but that's how I found my therapist. I was with my therapist and have been for the last 6 years. And that was the best decision I made for myself, and who looked a family member, someone I felt safe to be vulnerable, who had similar life experiences as I did, someone who understood. There was a lot of nonverbal communication and had with this that made sessions something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Like, can't wait to unpack this in therapy. I just want to know woman thinks. And I just to my mom, and she said something that just rubbed me the wrong way, and I need to talk to another black woman. That, I'm telling you, that made all the difference for me. It made me challenge myself. It made me look from the mirror, want to become the best version of myself, because the person
Absolutely.
I was looking at and speaking with, relationship with, was refining me and smoothing out my edges and what my future could, like my best Bradford could look like. I wanted to live up to that, so it gave me confidence to step into that. It gave me the confidence to myself and work toward the best.
Man, you dropped so many gems in there, man. One of my best friends, he actually found his therapist from Therapy for Black Girls too. So it's not uncommon, gentlemen, it's not uncommon to find a therapist through Therapy for Black Girls.
Right.
Toxic masculinity. You know how that goes.
Right. There are men and women on that website. It's just, you can find black therapists, whoever you're looking for.
What's been the biggest improvement that you've seen within yourself since you started your therapy journey?
A self-awareness, man. I feel really confident in my own skin now because I've done who I am. I feel, unshakable. Things that used to make me feel insecure about just personhood, about the way I move through the world, the way that I think, that I speak, the way that I perceive, were all things that I think all of us are constantly evaluating. It's like a track that's playing in the back of your mind. Stop. You're constantly thinking about how you're perceived, or did I say that thing in this way? Do they think this about me? all of that noise got quieted because with better understanding for who Bradford is. I'm not saying I have all of the answers, but I am saying that I know how to I know how to troubleshoot,
There you go.
question myself. I know how to check in with admit that I don't know things and not let lead me down a destructive path. I know how to do those things. I was given tools. That's the answer. I was given tools to health. That is the biggest takeaway from therapy. You can have a 2-parent household. You can go to the best schools. You can have a great group of friends and still know who you are. And that I'm talking to myself. I had a great upbringing. But certain situations and as Black people cause you to question yourself and question where you stand in the world and question how you're perceived, work environment, your hobby, the gym you go to. Like, you're constantly just evaluating how you are perceived, and that to carry with you at all times. The better you have an understanding of yourself, the quieter that noise becomes. I don't think I would have there without help. I really don't.
Man, when you talk about the quiet noise, the sport that we love, golf, it's been very quiet when it comes to diversity, representation. We're seeing some change, but not too much. If you were to speak about golf and representation right now, what would be something that you would want to say or something that you would want to change?
The version of me who started speaking locally and publicly of Black representation at the time, very different than the person before you today. At the time, I wanted to see us on tour. I see us dominating the sport like the way I saw Tiger growing up. And I was, shouting out my window, like, why aren't there more Black people on tour? Why can't we have this? Why can't we have that? Just really militant about it, I think. It was critical, but it wasn't constructive. I wanted to see something had no concept of the state. I didn't understand how it worked. I didn't understand processes one had to go through to make level. I didn't understand how difficult, how expensive, how taxing that journey could be on someone. And the more you understand that, the picture becomes a lot of the guys that we see that are household resources. Like we all know that, but when you hear stories about, use Willie Mack for an example, from city to city, sleeping in his car, the only money he had was to get the entry fee into the tournament, win his money back so that, it could get a pack of ramen noodles to go to the next, not a sustainable journey to get to pro golf. So when I look at from one and look at golf of 2026, I'm almost heartened by the representation that we do have, because it is there. It is not just on the Epson tours and LET tours and the AP tours and Korn Ferry tours. It's now in the booth. It's in content. It's in commercials. It's in apparel. It's in community leaders. Like, we want representation in golf so bad on the tour level, and I think that's where a lot of our focus is. But if we look into the right, like up, instead of on, there's a more impact that we have on the ground level than we've ever had. Black people of color in general, and women are the fastest growing demographic in golf for the last 6-7 years. And that's because there is more representation. Sure. People are showing up to the court. Every time I open Threads app, I see women and Black men being like, oh, I'm really golf. Who can help me get lessons? Just the the cumulative effect on social golf is exponentially greater and bigger than it was 5-6 years ago. We are actively doing it now. We can look at the tour and, be upset that, there are more black people on tour all day. To really look to the left and to the right, there is way more there than we realize.
Do you feel that social media is helping change the image of golf?
I absolutely do. Yeah. With tour, conversations with brands taking their creativity to places we've never seen before in social media and golf apparel. I think social media is, it's what you make it, but what it's opened the rest of the non-golfing universe to see what we have going on over here is the thing. And my folks that live out in Los Angeles, that may be a negative thing because it's hard to get here now. But that change, say, is driven largely by social media, and the 4-letter, 3-letter tours that are out there know that now, because there's a reason why the Creator Classic exists and why duels on the Live Tour exists. There's a reason why occasionally they'll have a creator in the booth doing commentary. There's a reason why YouTube shows sponsored by PGA Tour Superstore exist, because the tour is paying attention, and social media is creating a wave of change that no marketing department could have done on their own. Marketing execs could never come up with the string of sentences that Roger puts together. You know what I mean? No, can't teach that thing, and the impact and the influence that has on who to know what golf has to offer. You can't measure that.
You absolutely cannot measure that at all. And because of social media, because of content, you've actually found yourself involved with the TGL. Can you tell us what is your role and what is your responsibilities with this partnership?
So when TGL first came about, I think most of us were just like, what is this thing doing now? He came out with Top Stroke, which was like the mini golf thing down in Florida. Now he's just branching out and doing crazy stuff. What is TGL? What is this thing? But I got it in these conversations as someone who was who knew the golf community really well and the community behind Los Angeles Golf Club. So 23, kid you not, just got a tap on the shoulder from at the time, the CMO of and know your name, but you're on a deck that I received this week. And in the midst of, she came and tapped on my shoulder because I was giving her son a golf lesson. And I just saw this kid, struggling. So I went over, gave him a couple pointers. I probably spent 20 minutes with him. I didn't know where his parents were, but working with the kid, and I received a tap on the, he's like, thank you so much. Also, you were on a deck that I received this week. My name's Kayla. And that was Kayla Green. She was the CMO of AGC. We should have a conversation. And that turned into lunch. And that turned into, I don't know what you're doing these days. I'm sure you're busy, but I would love to create a role for you at LAGC. And a month later, I was hired as the community and lead for LAGC. So my role was to get people together. It was communities that were in Southern California who were golfing, who were congregating, who were playing golf together, doing the work in golf space, and rally them around new sports franchise that was coming to list. Conversations were, Los Angeles is getting a new sports franchise. You love the Galaxy, you love the Lakers, the Clippers, and there's a new sports franchise. So that was the energy that LAG behind the marketing and behind getting town excited about golf. And something incredible happened. Los Angeles got wind of it, and folks golf and didn't golf just wanted to know what LAGC was about. And funny, we probably had 6 or 7 larger community events, and it was 50 who were in the golf and folks who've never touched a golf club before wanting to be a part of LAGC. They wanted
That's dope.
to learn more about the team. They wanted to know where they could, they were like, oh, LA Golf, like a country club to join. It was like, I'd be like, it's not a physical place, but it's a feeling. It's, when you turn on ESPN on Monday or Tuesday nights and you see Collymore, Justin Rose, Sahith Theegala wearing the same have on, like that is the feeling I wanted to on and create. And Los Angeles really showed up and showed out. First year was incredible, and as we sit here today, LAGC just clinched another playoff spot. They'll be in the playoffs for season 2. I learned much working with LAGC. Was, to be honest with you, is my first corporate job, answering to a chief marketing officer. That was my direct contact, and it was corporate and community. I got paid to rally around golf and around this sports franchise, and to go play golf and to go physically in community. And I think a lot of people have different definitions of what that can be, but really it's a feeling. And you pull the box, and your foursome is comprised of you and 3. It's like you look back, and next on the tee box behind them is 4 more people you play golf with. Like, that is a special thing. That is something really hard to create out of thin air. It's something, once you have everyone bought in, feels.
Absolutely. I feel like a Baptist preacher. I didn't held you too long, so I promise you, I got a few more questions.
Good. We're so
we're
good.
Gonna tap out, man.
No, we're good. We're good.
What excites you most about where professional golf is going?
Question. I'm excited how much professional golfers care what we as care about. We'll watch a press conference post US Open, post Masters, most we'd ever get from Dustin Johnson, Rory McIlroy, Woods, and that's all we would get. No idea what their life is like outside of that. But where golf is headed, credit to social media, credit to things like TGL, who are connecting pros and every day, and that having an impact on how the game looks, from the broadcast to the commercials to the social media to the meetups, the content that we see with pro golfers. What excites me is that golf feels more relatable than ever. Anyone that's golf club and like plays on a regular basis can tell the next person how difficult it is to magnify that. You expound on that time, and that's what those guys on tour and those ladies on tour are doing. They're aliens. They are not real, bro. They are so good at this game.
Yeah.
We're like watching them play, and watching is unrelatable. Share with us, the more that they lift that veil a little bit and show us a little bit more personality, and the way the tour gets behind that, from their marketing and from the brand relationships and from the social media content side, that excites me, because it's got looks like parents asking me, about the Creator Classic. My parents are asking me like, oh, like, is Tiger Red, is that going to be a successful thing, or is he going to go back to Nike? Like, why are they asking me that question? They care, so it's little that outside of golf, folks have been watching golf their whole game change and feel a little closer than ever has been. And that's a really exciting.
This is going to be a difficult question, but I know you can handle it. What has golf done for Bradford Wilson?
Man, it's changed my life. It's given me an opportunity to walk in my purpose. It's given me a platform to use my voice, the best friends I will ever have, a community, a release with nature. It's given me income. It's given me an opportunity to change the trajectory of my family tree. It's so,
Man, that's heavy, man. Because you don't, when you're 11 and you got into golf, you don't even think this is even possible.
not at all.
So to even get to where you are now is amazing, and definitely hats off to you. I got a couple of questions we can end out on. These are more loose, a little bit lighthearted. I know we kind of had a somewhat of a heavy conversation, so I want to get to know Bradford a little bit more. In baseball players come out to the theme song, whatever song they choose. Bradford Wilson is coming to the tee box. I need to know, what song are you walking to the first tee with?
My favorite song of all, Ever Too Much by Luther Vandross.
You know what?
Favorite song of all time. I think it is a perfect song.
It really is. That's a great choice, man. Bad Boy's been playing in our house for a while. Seeing my kid dance to that's hilarious.
Yes.
So I need to put him on some Never Too Much.
Yes.
Great choice. So leads me to another question. So when you're playing golf, you're more about calm vibes. You don't need the up tempo.
Oh, days for sure where I was like, man, we black out here on the course. Let me get that trap music. Let me get that, you know what I'm saying? Let's get
DJ turn me up.
You want to know the quickest way to get out of sequence and to ruin your golf swing
Play
and
trap music.
have a bad time on the course? You go play some trap music.
Play some trap.
You want to connect your mind with your body, and you can't do that when there's 808s. Not for me. Into R&B.
I know someone.
Sorry.
No, go ahead. You good.
To my favorite band is called Krungbin. I listen all the time. The Olympians, Arc du Soleil, Polo and Pan. I'm listening to a lot of just instrumental, vibey music, and that keeps me.
I have a friend who plays up in. I have a friend who goes to East Michigan, West Michigan, one of them. And he told me that he actually listens to golf, or he listens to gospel when he plays.
Yeah,
because it just puts him in a cool, calm spirit.
Yeah,
and he said that's when his best golf comes out. When he's listening to gospel. Yeah,
I can see that. It's got to be more like and
absolutely.
And that vibe. That's the vibe you gotta go. I love that though.
You've played golf with a bunch of people. Who's the best trash talker that you've played with?
I mean, it's a tie. It is a tie between Smith and Roger Steele. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're gonna like that. But yeah, the motor doesn't stop. It just
keep on going.
First tee to the last happen nonstop. They're both better. They're both way better than me. Both just by nature. So it doesn't matter if you're a 22 or you're scratch or you have, or they don't care. They're coming for your neck.
Outside of
trash talk that goes back and forth between me and my boy John Jenkins on social. That's the homie. We be getting into it.
Outside of all of the major things you got to have, of course you got to have your golf clubs. Of course you have a towel, et cetera, et cetera. What's one thing that you have to have in your golf bag, no matter what?
No question about it.
I'm mad that I knew the answer.
Yeah,
I knew the answer, but I didn't know the answer, so I'm not surprised by that,
bro.
I should have known better. I know the answer.
I have I have driven from 6 to the clubhouse if I had to. Just if I don't have it in my bag, I need something immediately. Golf clubhouse don't have or Burt's Bees. They have like some chalky SPF generic that is not gonna actually. Even that is a thing. I've even used sunscreen if I. But bro, I'm telling you, the mostest thing in my golf bag is lip balm. My lips are chapped, or if they're dry, nothing else on that could get me to focus on my.
It's a bad day.
I can't think about anything else but how much pain I'm in. If you're yourself about it, all of y'all listening, you know what that feels like. Now imagine standing over, a 10-foot putt when you got $20 on the line. You're gonna be thinking about that $20. You lips situation. You don't have.
Now all of a sudden your lips cracking and bleeding because you didn't have no chapstick.
Right. And if I'm your playing partner, now I gotta see you. I gotta sit in the cart with you and I gotta look at that in between holes. It's selfish. It's selfish, really, when you think about it.
It's very selfish. It's a form of self-care that everyone should embrace.
Absolutely. Absolutely. If you don't
tell people all the time, it's not selfish. It's selfish to not self-care.
It is. Because you're putting everybody else at risk because you can't take care of yourself. Crazy.
You not being a better you affects everybody else.
1000%. It starts at home.
It starts at home.
And that's what your game, with your finances, with your kids, with how you present in the world starts.
Hey man, it starts at home. I don't know why they got to be so bad. But that's so good. It starts at home. Oh man, I gotta put that in the back. I gotta put that in the bag. And last question before we get out of here. I call this Give Me More. What do you want more of for Bradford Wilson in 2026?
More time with my family. Yeah, my schedule takes me out, and I wake up every day, thank God, every day to get to do the things that I and I live 3,000 miles away from my parents and my niece and nephew, my grand. There's no place on the planet I could go that feels better than or being around them. So any opportunity I get, parlay it into a quick visit at home year, I'm going to take.
For sure. I'm 6 hours from home. I'm in Memphis. Home is Atlanta. And man, when you go back home, there's legit no place like home. It's the people that you grew up with, people that have seen you grow young and old. Man, it's I see why they call homecoming.
Yeah.
I didn't understand it as a kid. I understand it as an adult now. But Bradford, I want to thank you for
when I moved to Los Angeles 12 years ago, and when I did that initially, it was like, God, I'm out of here. I'm going. I'm going to chase my dream. I'm going to go. I'm going to go be independent, and no plans on when the next time I'd be home was going to be. That first Christmas, I was like, Mom, can you send me like $300 so I could go? Like immediately, just immediately. Yeah, home is what keeps you to who you are, and that changes. Sometimes home is the safest or most healthy place for folks to be, but for me, it is. There's a reason why I have the golf course that I grew up playing on, Rakokus Golf Club, hanging in my now, because home is where it's at.
And man, I'm trying not to go down a rabbit hole here, but I think that speaks to why we look for ourselves when we go play golf. Because when we're with us, that's a feeling of home. That's why we are, even outside of golf, if we're at a work retreat, if we're going to a new place, we're looking for where we at. because there's a comfortability amongst us. Man, technology of community. It's something else. It's
That's
something
it.
else. Before I let you go, let the people know where they can find you. Let the people know what you got coming up.
You can find me at Bradford Wilson Golf on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube. What I got, I'm really leaning into just my own voice, my own storytelling this year. You know, the brand work will come, the marketing materials, the commercial things will come, but this I'm really looking forward to just being more transparent and honest in my approach. And if that is the kind of thing that you were looking for, honest and transparent who speak about things that find them as it relates to life and golf.
Are you bringing back the blonde?
The blonde back in 2021 where it belongs.
We'll leave it there then. We will leave it there. Effort. Thank you so much for joining me on Up to Par podcast, man. I appreciate you pulling up and spending some time with me today.
Thank you so much for having me, bro.
Absolutely. Now, if you have enjoyed this conversation, if you've enjoyed understanding and seeing Bradford in a different way than you normally have, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you comment. Make sure you subscribe. This is a young and growing channel, and I need your help to build it up. And if you will, I appreciate it. Until next time, remember, there's only one way to live your life, and that is up to par. Appreciate y'all. Peace out.